Well, hi and welcome. This week's episode of My Coaching Story. We travel to Victoria in Australia. G'day, Keith Collins.
G'day, Brad. How you doing? Good to see you again, mate.
Doing very well, very well. Now, Victoria is the home of Australian rules football, a great sport. I love watching it, but it's also the home of some great business coaches, yourself included. Tell me, Keith, what is it about coaching? Why do you enjoy coaching? What is it that keeps you doing it after all these years?
Why do I do it after all these years? Well, it's actually been 20 years now, mate, this year, which I've got to be honest with you, Brad, I thought I'd lucky to last 5. To be here in 20 years has been awesome. My story goes back to, I was actually a client of what you started back in the days, 22, 23 years ago, which was effectively the old Action International. I got some massive results from being coached by yourself and the team. Great results, turned Bronnie and I around, not only business-wise, but also education-wise, which was just brilliant. We then went, I then from that went and thought, well, why can't I do this out the back of it? Coaching, I had some free time, freed up lots of time. Probably, I'd say I was working in my business or on my business for probably 15 to 20 hours a week at the end there.
Yep.
And I started helping a few friends, Brad, which they all asked me, Bronnie's driving this new car, you're driving new goods, what's going on here? Sort of thing. Actually, part of that process, I bought a Porsche, which was something I always dreamed of as a kid. My old man actually said to me, mate, I need to talk to you. You don't go to work anymore. You're driving around in that damn thing. What are you doing? Selling drugs. It was a really funny story, but effectively, Brad, yeah, we got some great results as clients. I then started helping a few friends because they asked them questions, and I got a real buzz out of seeing them get the results that I was getting, which was really, really cool. And so for me, it was pretty natural, a natural progression. And because of the likeness between sport and business, I was actually a coach of football club. You talked about AFL footy. I actually coached kids in footy, younger guys in footy when I was still playing. Long time ago though, mate. So I got a huge kick out of that side of it. So for me, it was a pretty natural progression. I then, I really did it part-time, Brad, to be honest with you, to start with. It was more like a hobby. That then morphed into a business. And as you well know, I've got a couple of partners in that company now. And we were lucky enough to snag the Firm of the Year a few years ago, which was a real thrill for me, or for us in general. So that's pretty much how my whole thing through coaching went. To answer your question, why do I keep doing it? It's funny because I get asked this all the time. I get it asked all the time. And when I first started, really honest, it was about making more money, building a business, making more money, create a better future. Yeah. Fast forward 20 odd years, and we've already created that future now. So what keeps you doing it? Well, this morning I've been sitting here with a couple of clients, younger guys in their early 20s, just starting out in business, and to watch them grow, that's the juice. Like helping a couple of young electricians who are really keen to get going, want to know how to run a business, great electricians, but don't know what to do, where to start, how to go about it. So to sit with guys like that, I get a real kick out of that.
Yeah. I think that, it's amazing as we do this more and more and more, it's still exciting. I don't know, when I first started my own businesses, I was super excited because it was all new and it was all those things. Now I find that when you're coaching people, you get that same excitement level of when you started yours because you're coaching someone, it's that way.
The excitement is you're part of it. So to watch things grow and then to see the results these guys can get out the back of the work that you've helped them and taught them to do, it really is quite humbling and fulfilling, to be honest. I guess that's why I keep doing it, mate. Look, probably no one in action knows me better than you, really. I'm a pretty laid back, easygoing type of guy, and I don't get too involved in too much stuff. But I'd say that's the key for me. Is I just love seeing clients getting results. It's a bit of a buzz. You get invited to their Christmas parties, and everyone wants to have a piece of you and talk to you and so forth and so on. So much so, Brad, a young painter, I've just been working with this young painter. I actually signed him on as a client a few years ago. He's with one of our other coaches who left us, and he got back in touch with me. He said, "Oh, look, I wanted to work with you to start with. Is it okay if we work together?" I said, "Yeah, okay, cool." So then on the back of that, his father rings me and says, "Keith, you've done amazing things with Russ. I'd really love you to get involved with the Master Painters Association." So I now sit on the board of the Master Painters Association. I'm helping them. We've actually tripled their membership over the last 6 months, 12 months. So I think, I reckon that's really cool. So yeah. I get a kick out of that. And to think that 20 years ago, mate, me sitting on a board, a tree lopper from the
Well, that's the funny thing. You only just mentioned your business. Your business in the tree lopping business, and but the interesting thing is, Keith, it gave you a level of understanding of businesses, and now it's like a lot of your clients talk now about the community and the way you bring them together, because you don't just do the one-to-one coaching; you also have community-based programs. Tell me a bit more about why you build the community, how you do that, and why that helps the clients.
The first part of that, mate, and I put my heart on my sleeve when I say this sort of thing. The first part of it was, if you're doing one-to-one coaching, you've only got so many hours in a day. And I made a rule that, especially once we had grandkids, that Friday was grandkid day. So I can't work on Fridays. That was just a rule that Bronnie and I made. And to this day, we've stuck to that. So therefore, I've got 4 days to run the business, work with clients. You're very limited on time. So that one-to-one, I still have quite a few one-to-one clients, but I've introduced more members type programs, which we used to call group coaching. And we're very big on Growth Club. Now with Growth Club, we will run 2 big events a year, usually just after Christmas and then at the end of the financial year. The reason we do those is leverage for us, number one, but number two, it builds the community, because we get 120, 130. I think the last big one we did, we had nearly 160 people, clients and parts of their team in the room together, working on their planning for the next 12 months, next quarter, and so forth. The beauty of that, what comes out the back of that is these clients get to know one another, and then when you catch up with them, they're asking each other about stuff, they call each other in between sessions, all this sort of thing, and it creates a community, and they help and support one another, which, it's a real buzz to stand on stage and look at those guys, and they're talking about other clients in the room. I followed what so-and-so did, he helped me with this, or he helped me with that. That's it's huge. I get a good big kick out of that as well. Yeah. So why did we do that? Well, the initial thoughts on it was a bit of leverage for us, because we just run out of time with one-on-one. You can only do so many in the day and so many in a week. Ultimately, for me, I think that's the way to go moving forward, to do more of that type of work. Clients still get as good a results. They still have access to me one-on-one, so they can ring me or email me anytime and ask me questions about what to do, how to do it. But that interaction within the community, and it leads to more business for them. So that's why we do it.
Yeah. So when you think about being a business coach, like it's not something that most people go, "Oh, I'm going to be a business coach." No one leaves college or grows up and say, "I'm going to grow up and be a business coach." If you look at that now, how has it helped you as a person? How has it helped you grow and be a better business owner by being a coach of other business owners?
Have we got an hour or so?
Couple of minutes. Yeah. What's the short version of that answer? Yeah.
Well, the short version, Brad, is you get to see so many different businesses and so many different ways of doing things and so forth. Having said that, I'm a firm believer that all businesses are pretty much the same. They have a product or a service, they need to market it, they need to find a customer, they need to make a margin and make a profit. So I think the essence of business is all the same. I think the essence of business is very, very simple. Doesn't make it easy though. Business is hard work, and you've got to put in the time and the efforts. But the key, I guess, for me is the knowledge. When I first joined you guys, Action International back in the day, and you may not remember this, but I actually met you and shook your hand at the Dallas Brooks Hall, Brad, in Melbourne.
I remember doing a lot of events there.
And, you know, there's probably 3,000 or 4,000 people there that day. And, you know, the next time I saw you was effectively became a client and was at the Camberwell Town Hall. From that day forward, you know, with your entrepreneurs programs, with the coaching, with all the material that was given to me, the learning curve was absolutely, I can't explain how heavy and hard and big it was. It was massive, just massive. So, you know, I always take credence. I asked you at training, coach training, and I remember you pulled up, in those days you had that convertible yellow Porsche. And I remember you did day 1 or 2 of training, and then you went off and played golf. And I remember asking you, or someone else asked you, give us a bit of gold, Brad. And your comment, and it's rung in my ears for 20 odd years, read a book a week. Just learn. But it's more than learning too, Brad. You've got to apply what you learn.
Yeah.
So
learning comes first in all scenarios, and especially for us as coaches. And that brings me to sort of my next area of thought is, you do a lot of education for your clients as well, not just books, but you give a lot of education programs. You teach them their finances. And, you know, so on top of coaching, you're also doing education with them. Is that to shortcut the coaching or to speed it up? How does that work?
Not to shortcut the coaching. What we do on top of Growth Club workshops, we run workshops, 2 in particular that work really, really well. Is the first one that I do is what's known as what we call financial mastery. So that's to teach them and fast track them how to set their finance, give them financial literacy, business financial smarts as quickly as we possibly can. Really interesting. We've had accountants in those workshops, and the accountants learn stuff. So, you know, I spent a lot of time studying guys like Keith Cunningham and these type of guys over the years through Action, Brad. And you know, if clients know that stuff, it just makes it so much easier. Then the second workshop we do, these workshops are mandatory for all clients, by the way. It's not a will I or won't I. You're doing it whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Is what we call business mastery. I have got myself in a bit of trouble. Apparently, someone's got business mastery registered, so might have to change the name on that one. But effectively, that's all about the foundations. So we talk about our 6 steps to build a business. Business mastery really focuses on step 1. So getting all that foundation stuff in place, combined with the financials, so you can grow. And I say to clients, we want to grow, we want to systemize, automate, and consolidate. The consolidation is all the test and measure, making sure things are working. Once it is, now we want to grow again. So now we grow, systemize to the next level. So that's always been my way of doing it, right, wrong, good or bad. I think I'm done half all right with it, mate. I talking to a client yesterday, he's been with me for 14 years.
You know, I think, and that's testament to what you guys at the firm are doing. So let's then look at the future for your firm, because obviously, you know, all 3 of you guys have been doing this 20 odd years, and, you know, you've got a team of people around you. Where is the future for your firm?
I think the future for our firm, with what we're doing right now, there's nothing ramping up between now and Christmas. We've made a conscious decision because of the world circumstances, and it's particularly for us here. Into the new year, I want to do a bit of travel. So I've been talking closely with Paul Henschel here in Australia. So I actually never ever thought I would get on stage. In fact, that training, when Steve Leach got us to practice our training, I ran away and hid. To do public speaking for me, mate, that's just not going to happen, right? Now you can't get me off, so I love it. I get a kick out of it, yeah. So one of my plans is not to spread the word so much, but to travel, coach, and present seminars in regional Australia.
You know, I love the fact that, you know, the firm will do what the firm does. You're going to take a year or so and travel the country and teach. And I think that's, you know, it's a way of I mean, it'll build the business, but it's also a way of giving back after 20 years and seeing the country and doing all the things you want to do. So I love that there's that freedom that comes from building this organization that allows you to do all those things.
Well, the beauty of this business as a coach and a franchisee, or a senior partner or a partner, it's you get to choose. You can be like some of our colleagues and friends who, Bruce, for example, Bruce Campbell. You can go to that extreme if you want to and build a monster of a business, or you can do have your 5 or 6 clients and be happy to work a couple of days a week if you want to. So the choice is really yours, and that's the beauty of this business, and especially Action Coach. Like at the end of the day, we're the biggest in the world. I'll go out on a limb, Brad, and I'll say we're the best in the world. People say to me, why do you stay involved with Action Coach? You don't need Action Coach. Well, no, I probably don't need Action Coach, but what I do need is that I belong to a global team, number one. Number two, I've got a friendship with a lot of people within that team. And I reckon Brad would kick me in the ass if I left. So I can't.
Ultimately, buddy, we love having you as part of the team, especially with the results you and your guys down there get with your clients. That's always something that excites me to see businesses growing because of the work that you guys do. And I want to thank you for your time here today on My Coaching Story, and look forward to seeing many more clients working with you and the team in the years to come.
My pleasure, Brad. It's been a pleasure, and thanks for the journey. And hopefully, mate, we can get out and have a couple, 2 or 3 beers over the bar at the next conference.
Hopefully Australia will be allowed to travel.
I'm not sure we will be for a while, but who knows?